Sorenameka Sainemaki Sinenemeka. Welcome, Karasaraniniameka Saraniniameka, to this wonderful new season. Sarataka Saraniniameka. Today we're talking about the Great Awakening. But let's just take a deep inhale through the nose, and I invite you to hold the breath, to be present with you, to be present to receive any transmission that comes through as I'm sharing this with you, to receive, to listen, to feel. At times we could be so on the go, and this is the time to really slow down. So then as you exhale, holding the breath out too, and just feeling one more time. How does it feel like to be you at this moment in time? How does the body feel? How are your emotions? How's your mental state? And then going back to inhale and exhale. Beautiful, beautiful. So the Great Awakening. What does that even mean? So we hear that a lot, and maybe perhaps you have heard it. I've heard it for like so long, this Great Awakening and a happy Great Awakening and all these kinds of things. And at times in this journey of really coming back to your authentic self and just leading from that space in your life, it might feel that it's something outside of you. It might feel that this Great Awakening is happening outside and you're just witnessing, yeah? But in reality, the Great Awakening happens internally, inside all of us, inside each of us. And that is the revolution of consciousness. That is what happens in order to shift the awakening that you are witnessing with your eyes, not just in your life, but also in the life of your brothers and sisters, in the life of your family members, perhaps. And so the Great Awakening here happens as internally we're coming to the terms and accepting ourselves, accepting yourself as who you are, acknowledging that you had all these things in your journey that led you to where you are, and all these things that you have in your current journey that are leading you to where you are. And beyond all of that, that you're not just this human being and this planet, but you are a piece, a crucial piece of this wave of awakening. So let's go back into your system. We talk about the feminine and the masculine energies. Perhaps you're not even aware of what that is, right? But within our energetic system, we have two major energies they come through, right? So the masculine, the one that's more action, but at the same time is a foundation. Is the very foundation for the other energy, which is the feminine, the flowy energy, creativity part of energies. And so without each of them, the masculine could just be in its form, just doing, and having a really structural foundation. But then how would he build without the creativity of the feminine? How would the feminine actually create and also build without the foundation of the masculine? So within ourselves, we might go through different stages of life where we are just on the go. So especially in the side of the world, on the west side of the world, right, where there's like more go, go, go. The more you do, the more you achieve, like less sleep and do. And what happens to the rest, right? What happens when you don't rest? When you don't rest, well, the creative force of life can really root itself into you because your system is so exhausted. And so then there must be this balanced state of actually coming to terms that, once again, you're not just this human being. You're not meant to just go and do all these things, but you're also meant to balance this space of doing and also receiving and resting, doing, creating. And this is where the awakening happens within you, where really you come to the terms that, like, do I really need to work so hard? Do I really need to work and not even see my family? Do I need to work my ass off and not even rest to just have this money for survival? For sure, I'm not telling you not to work. But what I'm saying is, like, everything must be balanced. Everything must be balanced in any kind of relationship. And of course, the greatest relationship, I believe, to be the relationship that you have with yourself. So when you are doing all this go, 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 and not giving the space to the feminine, so there's a disconnection within yourself. So in a way, the Great Awakening, rather than being a Great Awakening, is a great sleep, right? Like a slumber party within yourself. And not in the really fun way, right? In the fun of disconnecting, in the way of pointing fingers, you know. So if you have experience in your life, in your childhood, or even in your current reality, that maybe you point fingers at somebody, or maybe you did back then, you just blame it for something that happened to you, or somebody blamed you for something that happened to yourself. Now that is a reflection of what is happening inside the system of somebody else. So before you get into this great awakening, right, which I honestly believe that we're all going through, but the process itself is really the embrace of the masculine with the feminine and the feminine with the masculine. The masculine really just allowing itself to be supported by the feminine, right? So you can actually visualize, you know, this very strong man. I'm not sure if you have this in your family, but in my family, we grew up with a very strong sense of the masculine, of the man is in charge. The woman can say, you know, some things, can share her opinion, but if the masculine doesn't really agree, then it's like, whatever. That is from my perception anyway. Perhaps maybe it was different, but this is how I saw it growing up. And so now imagine this masculine form just surrendering and just allowing itself to be less tight, holding less stuff in their shoulders, in their being, and accept the help of the feminine, the help of the partner in this case, right? The help of the woman. So this is also what happens inside. And now the feminine must learn to rely also on the masculine. So nowadays we do see, or at least I do, I see, you know, women in their power for sure, right? But in a way that is on the extreme of like, I don't really need anybody here. I can do this by myself. For sure, you can do so many things by yourself, but the more that we come together is the more that we can actually grow even faster and deeper, because what happens is a connection, right? And we become really powerful mirrors of each other. So now, rather than being on that extreme, the feminine also softens and realizes that it does need the masculine, because the masculine is not something outside of herself, but herself as well. Just like the masculine realizes that he can just be all the strong, and he needs to let go of all the heaviness that it is holding and trust that the feminine can also hold things with him, right? And I'm not referring to him and her as like a woman or a man, you know, I'm just calling them this because there's a masculine energy and the feminine energy. So the moment that this happens is the beautiful realization inside of you that this energies also have, right? These energies are pure consciousness, just like you are. I love to see my system and then different kinds of little parts. And this is how my awakening process has been, coming inside of me, tapping into all that source energy and feeling the difference between different energies in my organs too, to see like what is speaking. And so as this process arose, then I realized that the more that I let go of the heaviness of having seen, you know, my father, my grandparents, especially my grandpa, carrying so much stuff that I didn't need to carry that much stuff myself. That my masculine energy didn't need to be all this strong, and could actually surrender and trust others, asking for help, realizing that I can't really figure it out all by myself, and allowing myself to lean on others, lean on community. This is why community is so important. This is why I dearly love sisterhood. And of course, I do have really amazing brothers, right? But my work more relies on sisterhood. And then, you know, seeing that shift in my own energies, as the feminine actually was like, let me hold you. When was the last time that you allowed yourself to be held by somebody else? When was the last time that you said like, okay, I'm just gonna let this go. I'm gonna let go of carrying the heaviness of the world in me and just be held by somebody that I deeply trust. So that's what happened in me. This is where the rise of so many energies came through, right? And one more time, like my experience might be a little different than yours, right? But at the same time, we're all the same. And so then, it was the feminine saying, okay, let me lean on you too. You see how beautiful that is, right? Rather than being like, I don't need anybody here. I got this. I can carry all this stuff. And then like, okay, we're going to do this together. It's a partnership. And this is like the beautiful thing about it. Partnership, a divine union that happens inside of you. That is not that it just never happened or it went away. It's just like hiding behind these clouds prior to you realizing that it's there. Okay. And so as this happens, then inside yourself, you realize that you can hold yourself, that your energies can work in unison at all times, that the masculine can be supported by the feminine, that the feminine can be supported by the masculine. Can they work together in partnership, in divinity? This dance, this beautiful dance, like if you have heard, the dance of Shiva and Shakti, right? They're just dancing in so much bliss. That is the Great Awakening, the dance within you. They're just dancing and with so much love in pure blissful state. And then that begins to be witnessed outside of you through your physical senses. That you can see that you have softened it up a little bit more. That yes, that you can rely on others. That you don't really distrust people anymore. That you can trust sisters, that you can trust brothers. And then that you can let yourself be seen, as messy as you are at times, or as put together as you are at times. It doesn't even matter. You're still seen, you're still witnessed, you're still accepted, you're still loved. The Great Awakening happens within you as those two energies arise, as you let go from also the conscious mind that you don't need to carry the heaviness of your family, all this ancestral trauma that you have been carrying out of choice. Is for sure out of choice. Like you chose to come here, you chose a specific family, right? But then bringing the awareness of like, how much longer do I need to carry all these things? And do I actually need to carry all these things? Perhaps it was me, the one that came here in this family lineage to break that cycle. And then when that awareness hits, the masculine energy softens up. And then the feminine is just like, let me embrace you. Okay, come on, coming in. Think about perhaps you have male figures in your life that maybe they don't really show emotion, or maybe it's just very difficult for them to be held and cry, right? But this is the beautiful thing that happens because more love gets expressed, right? The moment of vulnerability that is so much power, is such an empowerment tool, vulnerability. When the man can actually be held by the woman, or, like the masculine figure, or the one that is in the masculine energy, lets himself or herself, or, be held by the other energy. And then, the feminine can empower herself too. Be like, yeah, okay, I can do this too. You don't need to do everything for me and protect me all the time, but I also have the strength that I can do it myself too. And then at times we can come together and just celebrate and do things together. So it's a wonderful community that happens within you. Right, there's many things that are rising as that happens. And of course, in the chakra system, many things begin to release, especially from the lower chakras and the heart space as well, right? Because when somebody is very closed off, when somebody just doesn't allow himself or herself to just be embraced by others, it's because the heart is closed. The heart just doesn't feel that it can trust. But then little by little, when it really realizes that I need someone, I do need support, and it begins to open up. And this is when the feminine comes in and embraces so much. And then as all this is happening, this internal dance that is happening within yourself, begins to be more free. Your energies just begin to bloom and to rise, and all this creativity and the upper channels begin to open up. And then you begin to be more in tune with your intuition. You remember things. You perhaps look at other brothers and sisters, be like, I know you, even though you just met them physically in this existence. And all these things just come together. It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. So the Great Awakening happens again, it's in you, the rise of the feminine, right? So in this existence, right, there's been like so much conditions that the masculine is higher than the feminine, right? So this is what we call the rise of the feminine, because it's not that the feminine is like passing the masculine, being like, ha ha ha, I'm better than you, but it's just like, let me meet you. And so the feminine rises and the masculine comes down to meet her, to create that union, to see each other and to see themselves in each other. And this is where the awakening happens. The Great Awakening within you, that is happening within you, is happening in the collective. And we all can feel it. We all can feel it. So what is our work here? What is our dedication to? I strongly believe that first of all, you came here for you. You came here, yes, to break all the cycles, if that is what you believe in, but you came here to remember that you love yourself and that you have always loved yourself. And through that journey, then you remember the love for others. You remember the love for nature. You remember the love for all the elements. And then you realize that everything is so connected. And even the trees are your family. Even the rocks are your family. Even the forests, the oceans, and mountains are your family. And they all speak to you in a different way through energy. The Great Awakening within you that becomes a wonderful mirror for the outside. What are you here to do? And are you ready for this Great Awakening within yourself?